going on? What's up, everybody? I'm Lakeisha Michelle. Welcome. It is 8 o'clock, and I know it takes people a minute to get in the room and get settled and wake up, because in LA it's early. I know it's 10 Central, it's noon Eastern, so some of you guys have been up. It's a Wednesday. We normally don't have class on Wednesday, so it is what it is. We're here. Some of you may be at work. It's still okay, because today we're going to talk about a technique that you can use right now. Everything I've taught you, you should be using right now. But it always takes people a few minutes to get into the room. I see people kind of going in and out. Let's see. If you're in the room and you can hear me okay, and you're excited and fired up about today, about life, about being alive, I want you to go into your chat box and say good morning. Say good morning. Say what's up. Tell me how you feel. Hopefully fired up. I'm gonna wait for some of you guys to comment in the chat box. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at the screen to make sure everything is flowing properly. We're gonna do some slide cutting today. My stereo is not working because y'all know normally I be jamming, and I cannot get the doggone Wi-Fi music to work. Oh, nope, it ain't working. I don't understand. This is the thing about technology. Sometimes you just be like, I need an old school boom box. Good morning, Don. Everybody say what's up. Say good morning in the chat box if you can. I'm watching the room to make, give people time to get in. Let's see what's happening. So I'm working, you guys, also, just so you know, I am like tweaking, trying to make this class better and better every single time, as far as like the camera, the lighting, the stuff is like production is like all of that. So hopefully this will be a clearer class every time. Oh, she got on some Drake. Hey, turn that up. So hopefully this will be clearer every single time so that you guys can really see. We have a new girl today. She's about to get cut. Now her cousin is Becky. I don't know. Do you guys remember Becky from the last class? Let me bring Becky in. Good morning, Tamala, Valerie, Nakisha. Let's see, Daniela, Cynthia, what up? How y'all doing? Hopefully you guys are fired up, because it's another day. We're alive, like we here. Like you get to learn and you get to share and go and make money. How many people get paid the same day they go to work? All I'm saying is I'd be excited to get that money. Latanya, what's up, mama? Tammy, what's going on? Let's see. Nicole, good morning. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all sound crunk. It's just writing, so I don't really know how you sound. You could just be like, good morning. If you like that, I'm gonna need you to get it together. So I'm gonna give everybody like a couple more minutes, like 2 or 3 more minutes to get in. And we're going to get started. Jasmine, what's going on? Nikki, Nicole. Yay. So that's good. Everybody can hear, everybody can see. I know some people log on late. Some people don't check their email. You guys, I'm gonna stress this every class. Check your emails. It's the way that we communicate. I communicate. Any other class you sign up for, emails are everything. So be sure you're checking that so you can know when classes are, so you can try to catch them live. There's nothing like a live class. The replays are amazing. You still get the same experience. While we're waiting for people to log in, I want to talk about, somebody has some good questions about if they should practice as I teach, like if they should have a mannequin, and be practicing as I teach. And that's a good question. I don't know if anyone out there has had that question, but it's really preference. Some people like to watch and take notes, and then that's what the replays are for, because then you can go back and then implement everything, and you can press pause, do what you got to do, and then, keep working. So I'll keep it in mind that some of you may be practicing while I'm teaching. So as I cut, I'll just wait and just, take my time so that you can move as I move. So that was a very good question I got the other day, which I don't know if you guys were wondering that as well, but that is very cool if you have the opportunity to get a little mannequin head and practice as I teach. That way you can ask questions as it's happening. But even if you practice during the replays are the exact live version, you can still ask your questions on the chat box, and I get the questions immediately in my inbox. So what was Becky's cousin's name? I forgot. Did I name her? I didn't name her. Bree, you get it. Bree. So this is Becky. I don't know if you guys remember Becky. Becky, say hey, girl. So Becky is cute. She still got her cut. We did the waves on her. We made her funky, all of that. So now we about to do her cousin. Take a picture of them. Cousins, Becky and Bree. This is Becky and Bree. Everybody say, hey, Becky. So we're about to get started. We're going to go ahead and start. I gave people a little time. It's 8:07. I try to give, people 10 minutes because sometimes they check the email late or, kids start crying or some may be at work. But I want to welcome you to the class. If this is your first time, there are some new members in the group. If you're new, I see everybody saying, hey, Becky. So if you're new to the group, introduce yourself. If this is your first class, welcome. If you're back, thank you for being back. Thank you for subscribing and learning and empowering yourself. You guys are saying, hey, Becky. Oh, y'all, something's wrong with that Facebook group. I'm sorry, that is a user error. I can't get the people there's this app, long story. The Facebook group, there's no one in it because no one can get in it besides me, which is weird. So I guess I just started an old school one because I was using this fancy one and it's not working. So what I'll do when we get done today is so check your email for that because I'll create the group there. So that way you guys can chat and I want to see what you're doing. So forgive me for that because I'm waiting on them, but I need to just quit them and just make a regular one. So I will do that to answer your question, Jasmine. Make sure you use any questions in the comment box. Feel free to ask whatever you need. I have notes here on my phone. If you see me on my phone, I'm checking my notes. I wanted to just go over my thought for the day. This has been my thought for the week. I've had a very interesting week and it's only Wednesday. So good things are happening. And I want to encourage you today. You guys know I love inspiration and motivation and I eat, sleep, and breathe it. And I just want to encourage you today to be committed. I want to ask you, what are you committed to? It's a very, when I hear people say that, I never thought about the things in my life that I'm committed to. But if you really look back at the things that you've accomplished and the places that you've gone that you didn't think you could do, or even just getting out of beauty school, you were committed to an idea that if I graduate and get my license, I'm going to have X, Y, Z. You had to be committed to that to go through beauty school because I don't know about y'all, but I hated beauty school. So think about that level of commitment, what it took to go somewhere every day and put up with those teachers who may have had attitudes, or some of those students who were cuckoo, or just be somewhere and they tell you when to clock in, when to clock out, and you got to act like you're in high school all over again. But you were committed to a possibility that if I get this piece of paper, if I get this education, I will be X, Y, Z, right? So I want to question you today and ask you, what are you truly committed to? I was listening to one of my mentors and he had a very, very compelling speech about, what we're committed to. And I thought about some things that I've been doing and opportunities that have come across my plate. And I think about the things in my life that I've done that are so random and crazy, but they've happened because I was committed to the possibility of something. So let's break this down. Let's break down commitment, right? You think about who invented the telephone? Alexander Grant Bell, the great, I don't know, whatever his name is. He invented the telephone, right? You think about back then, that was unheard of, that people could communicate through some wires. Now we're communicating through, I don't even know, more wires somewhere, finding a cloud, I don't know. Look at technology. But someone was committed to the possibility and other people thought it was impossible. And I don't know, and I have my little sign here. You can't really see yet. Wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. I want you to see my sign. This is my favorite new sign. There we go. Okay. It says, believe you can, and you're halfway there. So I love this. When I found this, I had to buy it because I was like, that's what life is about. It's about believing that you can. You can't wait for somebody else to believe in you. And a lot of times in the hair industry, let me just bring it full circle, so some of you might be like, what is she talking about today? When you're committed to something, the things that people consider impossible, you're going to see possible, even if you don't know how. And if you think about, I think about my career in hair, I didn't really have anybody to tell me, you know, how much money I was going to make or what the path really was to being successful in this business. Or I didn't even understand hair cutting when I was in beauty school. I did not learn how to cut hair until after I graduated. And I was committed to the idea that I'm going to learn how to cut hair. I was so committed to it. I was so frustrated. So many times I would get my mannequin and I would cut her hair and I would cut people's hair. Ooh, babe, I did some horrible haircuts because I didn't understand it because I'm left-handed and I didn't realize that certain things translate differently in my little lefty brain than other people, and everything's for right-handed people. And when I learned that, I was like, even then I still had to like retrain so much. So, you know, get committed to whatever it is that you want out of life. That's really where I'm going with this. You think about Alexander, he created the telephone. People said it was impossible, but he thought it was possible and he made it happen. He failed 100 times and I'm sure he made 100, you know, versions of phones, right? Now look what we got. Everything, we got all kinds of phones. But it was because of his idea. Somebody said it was impossible for us to, you know, fly. But think about the brothers. They were like, we're gonna figure this out. They crashed 100 times before they figured out how to get in the air. Every time a plane take off, I'll be like, I still don't understand this. Like, I don't get it, but I love it because they were committed to the possibility and then it became real. And so it makes me think that you literally can do anything. I literally can do anything. And so as I coach myself to do better, be better, grow, be more, and achieve bigger things, you know, I just want to encourage you. As you take these classes, don't take it lightly because it's $19 a month and I just get to do whatever and it's like, I'm gonna learn this. Like, take your time and go through the classes. I slowed them down because the classes I was giving you so much content and I thought, you're not really, you have to, in order to make something like a skill, you got to work at it. And if it's not something that was a strength, you saw that class last week and now you're on to the next class this week, but you ain't mastered that class. You know what I mean? So I just want you to get committed and don't take lightly all the information that you have at your fingertips. Not just from me, but take other classes. Sign up for, I pay hundreds of dollars a month for classes. So when people email me and say, oh, I don't have $20, I really don't even have you in my vision because that shows me that your mentality is small. So I encourage you to get committed. I encourage you to take risks, do things that are uncomfortable, and believe in you. Believe in the idea that you have in your head and go for it. You know, so that's just my thoughts for the day. That's my thoughts for the week. I have some amazing things happening. And I'm just like, it's all because I believe, even when people think I'm crazy. So I just want to encourage you. If you believe you can, you can. And don't let nobody tell you anything different. They might tell you, but don't listen to them. So I just wanted to drop that knowledge. We're going to go ahead and get into class. And, oh, hi, Don. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Lives in Arlington. Let's see. I understand, Danielle. I'm in the same way. I'm licensed stylist. I'm going to add short hair to my belt. Oh, Savannah, Georgia. What's up? First class to attend live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's good. Everybody's chatting. You guys partner up with each other. This is about community. You know, talk to each other. Be each other's backbone. That's like more powerful than just watching this and going back to your little circle. So I'll be sure to start the Facebook group today, so that you can get in and just ask questions and still comment and still chat. We got Dallas, we got Savannah. I know we got Chi-Town in the building. A newbie from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Hey, you have a lot of questions. Let me tell you guys about questions. Ask them. There's no wrong question. There's not too many questions. There's no dumb question. Ask, ask, ask. Y'all know scripture, ask and you shall receive, honey. Closed mouth don't get fed. Ask your questions. Don't ever feel bad about asking a question with anyone. So we have one request. Let's see what's happening. So I invited. It's really cool because you can ask questions live. So let's see if you work that out. Invite. You there? Let's see. I guess it took the hand down. So you can, when you raise your hand to request, like I click on you and then you're going to be able to speak to me. I can hear you. So if you want to, you can. If not, that's what the hand raise is. If not, just ask your question in the chat box. Nikisha, what's going on? She said she needed to hear that. We got a lot of Texas people in the building. What's going on, Texas? Nikki said, hey, man, hey, you know, I just like to share. I love, like, you guys, mentality is everything. The more I hang around these millionaires out here in LA, let me tell you, it's a certain way of thinking, a certain way of living to achieve certain levels of greatness. How many of you guys want to be great? Type greatness in the chat box if you want to be great. Let me see that. If you want to be great, type it in the chat box. And I encourage you today to go after it every single day, every waking minute of your life. So I just moved here. We can go. Wow, yes. Yay. That's awesome. Let me see some greatness in the chat box. And when you raise your hand to request, guys, that I can click on you. That's right. I am great, Valerie. Speak it into existence. Like, I'm not saying you're not. You are. Everybody's great. I'm great. You're great. We're all great. And just aspire to be even greater. Just greatness every day. Just every day. You want to get bigger, better, legendary status. Like, those are the kind of people I want to be around. I want to infect you to be that way. I mean, that's the only way to be. I don't even know why you want to be alive if you don't want to be great. So I see you guys typing, yes. Don, you are great. You're declaring it. That's right. Arlington in the house. You guys are crunk. That's good. So I see your request. I'm going to try to hit it again. When it just went away. Okay, so if you request, that means you're wanting to speak and say something. So that's what that means. If not, if you don't want to actually speak it so everyone can hear you, just type your question in the chat box. So we're going to get started. Today, so this month we're doing some cuts. I have all of the requests. People want to see more styling, and a lot of stuff will be repetitive because you have to repeat stuff until you get it. So today I just want to show a technique. I went over point cutting in the last class. If you haven't seen that replay, it's there in the membership site. Remember, you go to shorthairbootcamplive.com. There's a member login. When you sign up for it initially, you created a username and password. Then every day after that, go to the actual website, log in. That's where the updates and everything will be. That's right. Detroit's finest greatness. Good. You guys are fired up. That's good. So let's get started. So today we're going to talk about point cutting. And point cutting is literally, I'm sorry, not point cutting. Jesus, that was last class. Last class was point cutting. Today we're going to actually just use a technique as we finish out the hair cutting that I use a lot called slide cutting. And some of you guys may know this. Some of you may not. I'm just teaching techniques that are working right now in the salon, and they've been working forever, and you may or may not know this. So let's talk about why. There we go. Let's talk about why you would do slide cutting. Slide cutting removes weight. It also makes things softer. So hard lines, like this is the hard blunt line, right? So if I slide cut it, is that a word, slide cut it? So if I slide cut the tips of this haircut, it's gonna instantly create a softer line with this very blunt, harsh line right here. So if I went through and slide cut all of these tips, this is gonna look more soft and wispy, and it's gonna take the weighted line out. So think about scenarios where you would want to use slide cutting. So like for me, when I love texture in short hair. I like the hair to have all these different funky textures, right? So in order to get that, I often slide cut the tips of the hair. And a lot of times when someone has a heavy bang, let me see an example of a heavy bang. So just in case someone doesn't know, what is my phone doing? Let me show you an example. Oh, did I delete my picture? You just gonna talk right now? Hold on, y'all. Let me pull up a picture of some bangs. So let me find some heavy bangs so I can show you. This was actually a lot of slide cutting. Let's see. Where is it? Heavy bang, heavy bang. You guys know what a heavy bang is, but just in case Some don't, because I never want to assume you know, because that's how you miss people when you're teaching. I don't have it. I thought I had it on my phone, so I don't have it on here. Let's see. I don't know. I thought I put the picture, but I use it a lot. Anyway, in a heavy bang, we'll just use Becky. In a heavy bang, slide cutting gives that, see all that soft wispiness right there? That's from slide cutting. I love slide cutting. So that's going to give you that effect. And that's what we're going to cover today. So we're going to do a basic 90-degree. We may do something funky. Let's see. Yeah, we're just going to do a basic 90-degree because I'm going to approach this as if I was just doing someone who wanted to have kind of a fun, longer front. And then I'm just going to show you the slide cutting technique so that this week, while you're in the salon, you can implement this right away. So we're going to get started. I'm going to move this forward. There we go. So I'm going to get my clips and stuff ready. So, you know, we talked about this in the last class. We're going to start this haircut very basic. I'm keeping it very clean because I'm really showcasing the technique, which is slide cutting. So I'm going to go 3/4 of an eyebrow. I'm going to create the horseshoe shape all around the head. And really kind of on the parietal bone, which is going to be the 3/4 of an eyebrow all the way around. So a horseshoe shape, you guys know what that is. It's like a U. So I'm going to create a U from 3/4 to the other 3/4. I'm going to go a little bit, the horseshoe is going to go a little bit below the crown. The crown is the high point of the head. So I'm going to take this section a little bit below it, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Say bye-bye, say bye-bye, say bye-bye, say bye-bye. So I have scissors out, I have clips, I have you should say shears really. I have my shears out, I have clips, I have a razor, which we're not really going to use a razor today. And that's it. I mean, I'm not doing a lot. I have a flat iron just in case we want to, you know, bevel this. So I'm going to put this in a knot. And I'm going to put that there. So, you know what? They did her makeup kind of, look at that. That's just hideous. She got on orange, green, like, girl, girl, that ain't cute. So, I told you the crown is this point. I'm going to go on the parietal bone, which is right below the crown. I'm doing a horseshoe all the way around. You guys got that? You got that, Bree? Remember, Bree's our model. So then I'm going to take a vertical parting behind the ear. So starting from behind the ear all the way up to that horseshoe, I'm going to take a vertical parting and I'm going to section that off. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I straightened her, so she's a little too silky. We could do this wet. I'll do a wet cut for some. I know some people want to see wet cuts, so next time we'll do a wet cut. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, behind the ear. Vertical parting. Vertical is up and down. Horizon is horizontal is, which is how I remember, is like the horizon of the sun. It's going this way. So we took a vertical parting behind the ear. I'm going to move that out the way. And this is typically what I do when I'm about to cut most of my haircuts. The thing about our community, and we're doing, you know, a lot of the haircuts, we typically start with a 90-degree. Most haircuts are 90-degree. So it's just easy. I mean, this is something that it's like a staple haircut. So I'm going to part down the center of Bree's head. Take a vertical parting all the way down the center. You guys got that? And I'm going, look, my clips are so discolored, it's hilarious. I got pink, that's for breast cancer. Well, I bought that during breast cancer, yep. And then I got these, I don't know from where, but I'm gonna section off this area as well. So some of you may be following along, so I'm gonna take my time so that you can follow this. Some of you may be doing this in your home. This is like my general, and it's most general, let me tell you, most haircuts start like this. You look at so many, my goal for this class and for people that cut hair, and for me, I've taken so many, if you don't know my background, I've worked with, this mannequin was actually given to me by Nicholas French. Google him, that's my grandpa, like he calls me his granddaughter, that's my boy. He gave me this and we worked so hard. So I'm cutting her up today because he actually burnt her hair out because his curling irons are hot. And so he was teaching me to do a classic set. We were doing waves and all this beautiful stuff on long hair. But yeah, he burnt her hair. So she needs a haircut. So pivot point is the mannequin. If you don't know, I've worked with a lot of different people, and it's no brag. It's just to know, I just want you to know, like, I've seen so much. I've seen stuff that hairstylists that have been working for 20 years haven't seen. And I know because they tell me every day, all day. Because I won a contest with L'Oreal, I worked with Nicholas French, Ammon Carver, Nick Stinson, just so many artistic directors, Patrick MacGyver, Gina Khan, who's an amazing colorist. Oh my God. Lenny Strand, who's an amazing colorist, but he also can cut, everybody can cut hair masterfully. I love Ammon. Y'all gotta check out Ammon Carver. He's so cool. So these people are amazing hair artists, and I got to cut hair with them for a year. And so even after that, I still got to work with them, and we're all still friends. And so I've learned a lot, but most haircuts, they start with the 90-degree sectioning, and then there's just little twists. The reason why I'm teaching you point cutting, slide cutting, we're gonna go all these different notching techniques and all these different techniques. The reason why is because if you know a 90-degree haircut and then you implement these cutting techniques, that's how you customize the cut. You can look at, I can look at anybody's hairstyle and then use a 90 as my guideline, and then I go, okay, where is the weight in that person? And so say I want something that's like asymmetrical, heavy here, but undercut here and all that. I still, from a 90-degree, can tell where I need to do what in what section. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, say it in the chat box and I'll explain. I'll break it down even more. But the 90 is everything. 90 and 45. I mean, you can get any from pixie cuts to bobs to undercuts to all that stuff. So I'm teaching you slide cutting because you can use it in so many different types of haircuts. And it softens. So we use it to, remember this, to remove weight. Weight is when something looks heavy. This looks heavy. So if I went through and slide cut all these different tips, it's gonna look softer, more wispier, okay? So also with like cutting curly hair, you can slide cut little pieces and it takes the weight out and helps them have like softer ends. So you can just do a lot with slide cutting. So hopefully you got your sectioning down. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So now, because my left side, turn down a little bit, because my left side is my weakest side, I like to start working from you know, my left to my right. Wherever your weakest side is when you're cutting hair, cut that side first, because think about it. You want to match your weakest side. That means your haircut's going to be even. If you try to cut hair and, you know, you start with your best side and then you get to your weakest side, it's not going to match. You can always take, you know, more hair off, but you can't put it back on. So I'm going to start with my left side because that is my weakest side. And of course, my body position is not going to be all the way correct as I'm teaching on camera, but you want to, something someone taught me, another artistic director at Matrix taught me a long time ago, is watch your body position. And you hear people say that, but actually when you're standing directly in front, when you have a traveling guideline, which means I'm going to cut a section here, and then I'm going to take a piece of that section I just cut. I'm going to travel with it to the next section. Okay? And then I'm going to cut there. I'm going to make sure that matches. I'm going to take a little bit of what I just cut, and I'm going to travel with it to the next section. A traveling guidelines means that the guideline, which is the guide, is the first piece that you cut. It travels with you around the head. That's what a traveling guideline means. A stationary guideline means I'm going to cut a guideline here and it's going to stay stationary. Think about, look at this. This is not say, look, it's going to stay stationary, which is kind of, think about the military. They have stations, they got bases. You're going to have it here. It's going to stay here. And as I move to different sections, everything comes back to the stationary piece. The cool thing about hair cutting is my stationary piece could be right here or it could be over here. And you bring everything over here. So that's the part about hair cutting that's exciting because you can create whatever the hell you want. First, you got to understand the basics. So I'm going to start. I'm going to take a vertical section, the back of the hair. I'm going to kind of take a little bit from both pieces so I can just get a clean section. You guys see that? There we go. So that's my section. And I'm going to, I like texture haircuts. And so I'm not blunt cutting this haircut. I'm kind of point cutting it because then I want to show you what slide cutting will do. So we're going to do 90 degrees. I'm going to tilt her head just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. So I'm going to start at the back. I'm going to move this long piece out the way because I don't want to take too much hair on my first cut. Okay, I'm going to pull it out 90 degrees. I'm going to hold my hand directly in front of me. This is what I was telling you that the teacher taught me at the time. I'd be way over here trying to cut the hair. That's incorrect. You need to stand in front of it. That's kind of how you're going to assure that it's a nice clean cut and that when you travel, this travels with you. Very important. So watch your body position. I'm going to pull this 90 degrees. I like the fringe and the neckline to be a little longer. So I'm going to slightly over direct up just a little bit, but it's still going to be 90 and I'm still going to be firm. So with this haircut, if you're doing this at home right now, cut how much ever you want. I'm going to make this pretty short and I want the front to be a nice heavy bang. So I'm going to just take a clean section there. I'm not trying to be super precise. I don't want it to be just one blunt, situation. It's kind of like it's blunt, but I'm not being like I'm not trying to make the lines perfect. So when I cut the second half, I just kind of like, cut it. I don't want it to be super even. So don't get all caught up on that part because I'm not being even. I don't want to be. Because I think even cuts, they just grow out. So I can see my guideline. Let me scoot up some so you guys can see. Let me make sure you can see. So can you see? I see my guideline there, right? So now I'm just cutting that. Not going for even. I see my next guideline. So I'm going to just match that. And the reason why I'm cutting like that is because I want it to be just kind of shattered. I don't want it to be super blunt because that's 90s. That's boring. That's like ill. And if you notice, the nape area is longer because I want to customize that later. So I don't want to chop off the nape area now and then she have like a, faded look or something. That faded look, I promise you clients are tired of that. They want to look modern. Do you see Toni Braxton with a fade? Do you see Halle Berry with a fade? If you say yes, I'm going to need you to go get your vision checked because it's wrong. So I'm just bluntly cutting. Not bluntly, I'm sorry. I'm using just the wrong word. I'm just texture cutting, kind of point cutting just a little bit. And I'm just going to go through and follow this all the way through to her ear. You can kind of see, it's hard for me to cut the right body position because I'm trying to make sure you can see, which only you can see. So you see there, I have to be cautious because what I'm doing is leaning, trying to make sure you see, and I'm keeping it stationary. So I have to, that's why it's important to cut in front of you, directly in front of you. So now because I see my guideline, I'm just gonna keep cutting. I see my guideline right there. I'm just cutting to my guideline, 90 degrees. Very simple. So just follow that all the way. As you can see, this is too right. Cut down that one for me. I want to work on the lighting so you guys can see. In the chat box, let me know you're following me. Let me know if you have any questions. Yep, cut it down some. What are you doing? Cut it off. 2. There we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I want to make sure you guys can see. So I'm going to keep going. You guys get it. Just follow your guideline. Very simple. So let me go ahead and get this, knock this out. And make sure you guys know how I feel about time. If you don't know, and the new people in the class, time is money. So this haircut should not take you forever. You need to just get it done. Time yourself so that you are getting people in and out and not taking 50 hours to cut hair, because that's just kind of ridiculous. Question, is there a place in the nape where you have to start? No, so that's a good question. She said, is there a place in the nape where you have to start? Not really. And you'll learn as you cut hair. Hair cutting is what you want to do. So when I started, if this is the line, I just started at the bottom. So I took the first comfortable section. I took away what was up top because I can't cut this whole section at one time. So I started right here. I broke it in 2 sections. So just watch. Say this was I cut this. I picked this section up and then I moved off the top because I can't cut all that at one time. So I'm going to cut this, and then as I move up, I'm going to take a little bit of what I just cut and pick up the next section and hold it out at a 90. That's it. There's no, real rules. I'm leaving my nape longer because I like to customize the nape. If this was a human, mannequin napes are always just whack. But if this was a human, that wispy stuff that everybody likes to see, you want to leave the nape just because in general, even if you don't want it wispy, you want to work with the nape. That's the nape and around the face. Those are like prime real estate. You don't want to just cut that off because it's going to look blunt and boxy. If I want get away from the boxy cuts. It's not the 90s. We got to be modern. Even in the 90s, the people that we admire, the stars, they didn't have boxy cuts. So I don't even know when we just became so into that. You want to be feminine. You don't want it to look shaven. I don't know how many men I've heard say, I'm glad your hair don't look shaved. They don't want you looking like them. Stop shaving these people's heads. I know that people want to have clean necklines. And do I use the clippers? Yes. But I just round. I don't square and shave up. No. Unless that's just a part of the look where you're trying to look, rocker or whatever. I see my guideline. I'm cutting 90 degrees. I'm on to the sides. I'm not going to cut this part of her hair just yet, this part. So if you need to, section that off. So you just know not to cut it, because that's like the feminine part of the face. This mannequin's hair is so fried, so it's hard to comb. So that's the feminine part. So you don't want to go and just cut that off like that, because you take on her femininity. She needs that. So I'm still cutting. Behind the ear, I'm going to over direct a little bit higher and away from the ear so that I can have a little hair, because a lot of times the hair behind the ear makes the hair separate and open up and pop up. So you want to leave a little extra hair so that you can adjust later. So My left section is cut. I'm gonna keep following. I'm almost done with this side. I'm just taking from the last section. I see my guideline. I'm just going to match it all up. And take your time with your sections. You know, don't feel like you gotta take a big old chunky section to get it right. If it takes many small sections, do that. Work that out. Don't do chunky sections and then compromise your cutting lines in the haircut. As you guys follow along, let me know in the chat box if you have any questions. No question is a dumb question. If you don't understand something, all that good stuff. So I'm done with the left side. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the right. I'm doing the same exact thing. Take a thin section, and I'm going to take a piece of my guide from this middle section, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to cut. Move this out the way. There we go. So now I see my guideline. Be able to, when you pick up hair, make sure you're able to see the shorter pieces so that you know you're not cutting in the wrong place, right? Make sure it's in front of you and cut. I know some people, this is probably like breaking their nerve because some people like to do, most people like to do those row by row bump cuts. Oh my God, hate is a strong word, but I hate it. Because that's not what people, learn how to have an eye, you know, for what's happening in the real world. Don't let your client walk around with that box of stuff. She want to look like Halle Berry. Everybody want to look like Halle Berry. Not like her face, but her hair is amazing. So it's soft lines. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going and follow my guideline. I see my shorter pieces. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to keep moving. Yeah, because I'm not gonna let, I mean, y'all get it. I'm not gonna try to let you see every piece because that's not good time use, and it's kind of very clear. Pick up the section, follow the guideline. I'm gonna do the same thing on the left side. I'm gonna do it on the right side. So when you're there, it's very simple. We're just following a traveling guideline. So I'm not cutting just in case you're wondering. That's a good point. But I want to finish the cut. Plus, I can't cut like that because my body position, the haircut won't be right. So I'm just doing the same exact thing. That's why I'm talking you through it. Pick up that next section. I see my guideline there. I'm just going to kind of point cut, notch the tips in a 90-degree format. If you don't know a 90-degree, that's straight out from the head, straight out in front of me. So when you lift this up, the way you cross-check, if everything is lined up, you know you're doing it right. You know you have good control, good sectioning. So I'm just going to follow this 90-degree all the way around. I kind of want this to be disconnected. So I want the underneath to be kind of like short 90. I want the top to just be wispy. So we're going to check that out in a second. And you can have fun when we do these classes. I put my horseshoe right here. You could have extended the horseshoe. You could have made it actually more triangular and brought it down some. That would have been funky, and kept this a little longer. And then went from short to long. So hair cutting is fun. You just need to know the fundamentals and know different techniques. And if you understand how the hair falls, if you understand when I cut at a 90 how this is gonna fall, then you start just going, what if? You start thinking about the possibilities that we just talked about. What's the possibility? Think about Vidal Sassoon. He thought about the possibility. Something's got to change. He was tired of seeing them updos. He was like, okay, I can't rock like this. Every woman doesn't have to have this type of, you know, hairstyle that everybody was doing at his time. He spent hours and days and months and forever trying to figure out another way because he just was not satisfied. And he had a belief in the possibility of a new look. And to this day, we're still doing Vidal Sassoon's possibility, what people considered impossible. And I think he just had it right. Just wear your haircuts. He created these, you know, haircuts, and they're like the staple of everything we do in this industry. I don't care how many, I've been in so many hair classes. I mean, gosh, oh, so many with so many legends. And there's only like 5 haircuts. I mean, everybody does. The difference is they add a bang, they take away a bang, they add an angle, they take away an angle. It's pretty much the same stuff, you know, but it's just your inspiration and what look you're trying to achieve. And but the haircuts don't change. So you need to really focus on knowing how hair lays when you cut. So I love the way this is looking. It's very soft. It's not blunt. It's not like, you know, row by row by row. It's not very, it's very soft and it's flowing. So I'm just going to finish up this side here. Cowlick type of question when it's on the side. It feels like it gets shorter when it does. So I'll address that when we get done. That's a good question. So I want to acknowledge that, and I will address cowlicks. Even my assistant, you have cowlicks like all over back there. Jesus, these people with these cowlicks. So I will address that and how to approach it. I was just explaining to another lady, her cowlicks, they are just monstrous and they push at you. You cut one way, push it back. I'm like, what the?
Where does that come from?
It's just your hair growth. It's a growth pattern. So in the last class, we talked about when you watch point cutting, you're going to notice when I talk about reading the hair. So make sure you watch that because I addressed the cowlicks in that class as well. I know for new guys, you guys got a lot of material to watch. So I will address that again, but we did address it in point cutting, which I don't mind repeating myself. Everything is repetitive. It's okay because everybody gets things at different times. So I'm almost done over here. And let me know if you have any questions about what I'm doing right now as I'm finishing up this side of the mannequin head. It's always different when you cut in a mannequin because her ears and stuff, it's just not right. So this is all cut. Everything's cut. The way you check what you have going on is you go back up horizontally. We cut vertically. So go back up horizontally, and we're going to just check and see the lines. If there's something that's sticking out, you can just actually, remember we talked about point cutting? Point cut it so that it blends a little bit. Let's see a little. Sometimes I like to just do that to break it up. I'm just going up horizontally. When you go up horizontally, if there's a piece that's long, then that's when you use your point cutting to blend it out with the rest of the line. But you don't want to go and just like scissor over, because then you're doing scissor over comb. So you don't want to just, if your haircut is just all uneven, I'm going to need you to go back vertically and fix that. And then go back horizontally and just check for anything that's outstanding. Like there's a little line that's kind of like, okay, so I fixed that little piece. But you don't want to go through and do the whole haircut like that because then you've changed it. Now it's just, you're doing scissor over comb. So if something is just dramatically different all through there, go back through your sections, pick up the hair and see which pieces are longer, see which pieces didn't, make the cut, and then cut them. Very simple. So I'm gonna stop there before I go to the next section. Any questions? If so, go ahead and comment right there before we go ahead and include the top section. So I'm gonna give it like 2 minutes because I know there's actually a delay. So if you have any questions on what we've done so far, let's hear it. Thank you. I'm gonna wait for these comments from you lovely ladies. I don't know if there's any men in the group. Are there any men in the group today? If so, say what's up. Let me know. Y'all gotta speak up, brothers, if you're here. If you don't have any questions, we're gonna keep moving, but I know there's a delay, so I just wanna make sure before we go to the next section. Oh no, someone couldn't get in the class. Okay, let's see. Okay. Mm-hmm. It was so bright. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. You guys aren't saying anything in the chat box. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take out the first. I'm gonna make a horizontal parting about an inch, maybe half an inch wide of this back section, okay? So it's kind of a triangle. This is the end of the horseshoe, right? I just took a horizontal subsection, half an inch wide, okay? And you see me looking at the cameras because I just want to make sure that I'm in the right position so you can see. So we're going to slide cut all of this. It's a fun technique. Typically what I do is I do kind of a point cut. I take this whole section and I just kind of point cut it to match this top section right here, which is my shortest piece. So I want to match my shortest piece here and then go from short to long, pull everything back. But I think we're just not going to do it that way. We're going to slide cut it all. So I see my shortest piece here, right? So let me explain slide cutting. Slide cutting, you take a piece of hair. Your shears are open. They're slightly open. Notice they're slightly open. And you're going to close them along the external part of the hair, and you're going to slide. Got it? Let me do it sideways. So because I'm cutting to the shortest part of the hair, this is not to be perfectly accurate. You know, this is going to be external cutting. I'm cutting on the external part of the hair. I see my shortest part, so I have an idea, right? I'm just going to slide cut the rest off. And it's just very fun. It gives a different feel. And I'm not trying to be super, it's not blunt. You can even come from the shortest piece up and just slide. Her hair is kind of fried, so it's not gliding as elegantly as it should. You can do this on wet or dry hair. And I'm just slide cutting. And I'm slide cutting to my shortest piece, but I'm kind of leaving a little bit. And this is where your artistry comes in. It's your choice. I could even keep going and like slide it off really short, or kind of texturize it and just slide and slide until I get a look that I want. But this is just slide. I'm not going in. I'm just, watch my shear. You see that close? That's the motion. You guys got it? It's not this. It's just barely moving that shear. Barely, that's the motion, guys. So you can do this. I used to do this on weaves. Like if you have a piece of thick hair and you're creating layers, you can just kind of slide and but in a scooping motion. And it actually takes out weight and creates these fun layers. So this is the technique I'm teaching. Take it and run with it. It just creates more possibilities with the haircut. So I'm taking it and I'm sliding. And if you notice the tips of the hair, let me bring this closer so you can see. Oh, the light's too bright. See that? That's very wispy. Very wispy. So that's external sliding. But I also can go internally, which on these tips, and I can just slide the tips. And it'll give me even more of a wispy feel. So It just looks really wispy. You guys see that? There's no hard, blunt line. It just creates a feathery type effect. And this is for an edgy cut. This ain't no, organized, blunt situation. So what I did was I cut my guideline. You can do a couple things. You can do horizontal subsections all the way back, or you can do vertical. It's really preference. I'm going to take horizontal subsections about 1/2 inch, the same thing that we just did. And I'm going to match these lines with the lines that I just cut. And the fun part is that it's so wispy and it's so fun and it's just very round. It's not a square situation. So I'm going to take a section. Once I comb that in, just take a vertical section in the middle. Our hair is so slick. So, and then you can see your guideline. Let me turn it sideways so you can see. As I take this horizontal, this vertical section, I can see my wispy short piece. Here's my long piece. I'm going to cut. It's very like with your fingers. You can cut like this. I know some people are gonna be like, oh my God, but it's just fun. You're just having fun. You're just matching. There's no serious rules here. It's all visual. What the key thing to this haircut is you have your guideline, just match to it, blend to it. There's no wrong or right way to do something like this because this is a very artsy type of cut. So I'm just blending everything out and I'm sliding it internally here. And I'm just gonna go to the next section. So I see my longer pieces. I'm pulling it back to the back of the head so that this becomes longer towards the front. Anytime you want the hair longer, you cut it in the opposite direction. I'm just doing the same motion. Watch my shear. Y'all see that? I'm just kind of scooping it out. Slightly closing the shear, not all the way. And remember we did point cutting? So you can do the whole haircut with the slide, or you can point cut. Deep point cutting, right? It still gives you the same effect, but the slide is gonna be way wispier. Way wispier. That's real, that's a tongue twister. Way wispier. So I'm taking a 1/2 inch subsection. Her hair is like so fried. Thanks to my amazing mentor. And I'm going to just keep blending. And you can disconnect this haircut. It doesn't have to be super connected. I'm gonna start raising the hair, still directing it back. Still directing it back. I'm going to raise it up a little bit. Kind of still in that 90 feel, right? So now you see a shorter piece. You see the shorter pieces are here and it's going longer. I'm going to direct it back to the first piece that we cut, but I'm going to raise it up like at a 45-degree angle, and I'm just going to slide out the hair. And I want to keep it long now, so towards the front. So I'm not going to cut it all the way short to my back initial point guideline. And this is very freehand. I know this breaks a lot of rules in your head, but this is very freehand because I'm lifting it up and I'm just slide cutting. We want this to be very loose. And you're using the hair that you cut initially as a guideline. Pulling it back there so you don't go too short. And you just slide cut. This is a very artsy cut. It's going to be disconnected. I'm just pulling these long pieces back to my initial piece. And I'm having fun with it. I love cutting like this. This is the stuff that clients, they be like, oh my God. They don't know, but it's because of the slide cutting, their hair just flows. All right. Make sure I don't have any questions. Right, we'll do the cowlick. So I'm gonna address that after. You guys let me know if everything's okay, if you have any questions. Y'all quiet. This is very fun. All you're doing is slide cutting and matching the hair with the shorter pieces. And you choose your elevation. You could do it all at this level. You can raise it up a little bit. You choose your elevation. So I see my point. I want to keep it long. I want to keep it semi-connected to the shorter piece, but I want to keep it a little longer as I move up in the haircut. So I'm kind of raising up a little bit. I see my shorter piece. It's very visual. This is very visual. Some of you might think this is cuckoo, but I promise you, we do this on stage. Like, I've done this. It's like a lot of people think that, you know, this is outside the lines, and it's fun. This is what haircutting is about. Breaking the rules and using techniques to achieve different looks. This is going to be very edgy, very wispy. So I'm just pulling it back. And the fun part is you can leave some pieces long. You can leave some pieces longer. See that piece right there? I can leave that and make that my little signature. That's how you customize a cut, and that's how you make somebody think they are super special and custom. What they say, baddies get it custom. She's a baddie. She's got a custom cut. This mannequin here is fraud. So I'm just going in. I see my shorter pieces. I'm starting there. And I'm just sliding the haircut. This is very fun, very free flowing, guys. Don't overthink it. You're doing this technique. Everybody was like, I want to learn some cutting techniques. It all pretty much starts with a 90, but I love slide cutting. I'm still taking the section, pulling it back to the middle. Just trying to make sure you can see. I see where I want to cut, and I just start sliding. Very visual. Y'all hear those dogs barking? These dogs been on my nerves since 5 a.m. So I'm doing this to get the basis, and you're going to see in a minute how I incorporated it a different way. This probably may be scaring the crap out of some people because they're like, oh my God. But I promise you,
It's fun.
it's fun. I like having fun with hair. The minute I start trying to be all serious, I'm out. I look back, I quit. This is very artsy. It's going to give a very soft, edgy feel. Still pulling it back, pulling this back. And I'm just looking at my shorter pieces. It's very visual. There's no real rule. I'm cutting on the exterior of the hair, which is going to be the longer. Exterior is here. Interior is when I go into the tips, and then I break it up and slide cut that way, which we will do after we get the gist of everything cut off. So the more closer I get to the front, I'm going to keep it pretty long and just kind of blend the tips of that with my longer pieces that I've already cut. So I'm in the same living room as the rest of the haircut. This is why you don't cut, like if you have hair in the, like a bang area. So say you want to have a diagonal bang, or say you want to have a piece that's a little bit longer, you know, over going this way. Section that part out. Like I really want to teach you, and I hope I'm not confusing you. I really want to teach you to just make your own rules. Like, don't give everybody the same 90-degree box cut. Use these techniques and customize the haircut, right? So I'm getting closer to the end, to the front. I'm just still taking these pieces, bringing it to the back. I see my shorter pieces. I'm just matching. Very simple. I'm bringing it back, bringing it back. I'm going to point cut the tips to blend that out because it already kind of matches, but I just want to blend it a little more. I'm just blending the long with the short in the back. This little section here that I have that I'm going to customize in a minute. Combing it back, just matching. I see my long pieces. I'm going to just blend them out. Do not cut your finger off. This is very,
She's gonna be cute.
she's gonna be super cute. I'm gonna go ahead and let these sides out. And we know we're not gonna keep them that long. She's looking like T-bars. So I'm gonna go ahead and just side cut that. It's very visual, very visual. So let's do a check. Let's see where we are.
Did you do this with a razor?
You can totally do this with a razor. Totally do this with a razor. We have a razor. So you basically will still check out your shorter pieces and you're just sliding along the hairline. Got it? Sliding along the hairline, sliding along the hairline, sliding along the hairline. So pay attention to what we've done so far. I'm not done with her haircut, but you can see the angle there. You guys see that? See how edgy that is right there? And we're not done. But I just wanted to check and see. Now it's time to get custom. So do I want to keep it longer over here and take this off? This is cutting. This is very visual. I cannot stress this. Some of you guys probably like, oh shit, I don't know what's going on. It's very visual. You're just matching your longer pieces with your shorter pieces and do you. Have fun with it. You'll find so much freedom when you finally just get out your comfort zone with cutting, and don't be afraid to screw up or make holes in the hair or cut something too short, because that's how you learn how to correct it. With these techniques, if you screw somebody's hair up and do a blunt chop somewhere and it's like, how do I get that line out? That's where slide cutting comes in. So now that I've combed this down, I'm looking at her. I'm like, okay, I think I want her to have a heavy part here. So I'm going to still pull this back, but I'm just going to slide cut to blend it in with the shorter pieces. Same thing we were just doing. I'm pulling it back. I'm pulling it back to match. And I'm slide cutting. Very, very easy. Okay? I'm not really taking, when I pull it back, notice the line that it's naturally creating. Okay? That's because I'm pulling the longer pieces back to the shorter pieces. All right? So this is for like a client who wants to keep that, you know, girl, I really want to grow my hair out or whatever. You want to make it look modern because that girl out look like a mushroom. So this is what we do. I'm just going back here. It's so hard because I want you to see. I'm pulling back here and I'm still slide cutting the tips of this haircut. And I'm just going to keep doing it to soften it out. I want it to be fun and I want this to be modern. And as I'm looking here, I can start slide cutting because I see my wispiness. I can start slide cutting the tips and even in the exterior to kind of remove weight. Remember, I said this is to remove weight. So this is very weighty right here. I needed this on the cut yesterday. How I see, thanks. See? Mm-hmm. So this is very, now that I've done this, I'll calm my bang down. I always check your client's face and see what fits, right? This is too heavy. So I'm gonna take this still kind of slightly over directed back. Uh-oh. And then I'm still going to go in and slide cut. Don't be scared, girl. Slide cut that hair. I know when you slide cut clients, they be like,
Right.
you sound like you tearing my hair up. Don't worry about it. And you can do this wet. I wouldn't do this on dry curly hair. You can do this wet. So it'll have a softer effect when it's wet. But you still can do it dry. It's okay. Don't tear the hair up. You're just slightly going in and you're making it edgy towards the end of the hair. You're not slide cutting from the base. Girl, stop. Don't do it. You're slide cutting from the middle shaft really towards the end. And you're just softening up everything. Okay? So there we go on that. Now we want to blend out the other side. And as I see here, there's a weighted line. I want to pull it back. See what's happening. I see that. I'm just going to go in and slide there. And it's just very simple. It's very fun. I just encourage you to have fun. Don't give a dang about what you suck at. Just have fun. So I need to go in and blend this side. I want to keep this a little longer. So I'm going to pull this back. And you can work in a thicker section because you have so many short lines now so you can see. I'm pulling it back to the shorter pieces there. And I'm just point cutting, breaking it up because it's a weighted line. Weight means heavy. So I'm just going in and breaking it up. And as I see this, I'm just going to go and start sliding. This is my favorite thing to do on bangs because you got to break those bangs up so they don't look old school boxy. I'm just closing the shear. Check it out. See what's going on. Oh, wait, that's the wrong part. Let's see here. Her head is too tight for me. So I need to. There we go. I can see. So now I'm looking at her. I'm like, okay, girl, you looking right. Okay. So I'm looking at her. I'm looking at her face. I'm looking, trying to see. This mannequin here is hard-headed. She just hard-headed. Got some kind of clients. There we go. So you see how I left? I didn't cut when I was cutting her back left and right. I didn't cut the sides because I want to customize that. So now that we got this established, we're going to go here, right? We can really have fun in this area. Give her a little custom piece, cut it to your liking, right? And then just start going in the exterior of the haircut and sliding out the way. It's very visual, very visual. And it's all about the look that you want, okay? This just gives a really soft bang. I see a line there. I'm just gonna go in and I'm just cutting through here. Just adding some wispiness. I don't want it to be too blunt, okay? I'm liking what I see. So, and this is, you can cut your bang however you want. Go through, wispy out the tips, just slide it all. Okay? So as you can see, she's looking mighty modern. Just go through, see your lines, have fun with the back. This is very good for someone who wants to grow out or just wants to have a fuller bang. You see that line? That's fun. It's not organized. It's just disconnected. It's edgy. It's chunky. And she's tighter right up in here, right? So then on the back, we're going to utilize our point cutting. What is managing? On the back, we're going to utilize our point cutting that we learned. Ooh, now you bobblehead. Okay, so all you would do is go through and just, this is all visual. This is where you customize the cut. Deep point cutting on the nape of the hairline, okay? Or you can slide. You can slide the nape. I'm not closing all the way. I just start and I go there. And it just gives it a really wispy feel. And even when after I'm done with the haircut, sometimes I'm looking at the client's hair, and to blend out the back a little, I just kind of go through that part where we did the 90 and do that. It just makes it just funky. Like, I mean, clients love it. I promise y'all, they love paying me by the month. They be paying me early. And it's because I'm doing this. I'm not in the box. I'm not giving them no shaved up back to where they look like a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people don't like hair back here. I get it. Even then, I'm going to take the soft razor and slide cut the hair until there's nothing there, versus getting a razor and bluntly chopping into it. And then I got to blend that out. And it just looks old school. It's tight. It's just tight. Don't do it. I promise. So go through here. You can point cut if you want. We talked about point cutting. If you haven't seen that, go watch the replay. You could point cut that to blend that out, or just slide. So I really just wanted to showcase this technique. You could do a whole haircut with this, but majority of the time, you're going to do your regular haircut, and then you're going to add this. You're going to do more customization as you work. So I think I want to go shorter. I might keep it long. Let's see what I want to do. I don't think I want to keep it long. I like having a little long bang. Yeah, we already did a short one. So I'm deep point cutting the tips. Just this is helping to blend. And it's going to go over there. So we're going to work on styling her out. I think I'm going to go a little, let's see,
That's hot.
Look at the, you just want it to look edgy.
Love it.
You just want to be edgy, wispy. It's cute, like it's very modern. You don't want somebody to look outdated. So this is where you look at the hair. I'm looking at the lines. I like that because it's just disconnected. It's not, there's no real order. I see a line there that I don't like. So I'm just going to go and soften it out. See a line here. It could be wispier. I'm just going to go and soften it out. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you guys the technique. It's very, let me get some. I don't bring the aerosol upstairs. You go downstairs and get, this is like, don't worry, we'll just use this. So, get that ready. It's very, very edgy. Let's give her a showcase. So the haircut is very, very edgy. There's nothing, you see that? You see that movement? It gives a weightless situation, right? Yeah, so you can, if somebody's working now, they want to have a longer bang. I mean, we really could take this all the way off if we wanted to, and just take this little section, and then she have a heavy bang and just kind of have this little, keep everything We could take this length and bring it all the way around here. Yeah. And then, yeah, basically yeah, like that. Yeah. So I just did her hair like that. But, and just have a heavy bang. If you wanted to, you can keep going. You don't have to keep the length right there, but I just wanted to show you what that would do. You could take the razor and just, I see my length here. If I want to just start there and just take that off, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, is my point to this whole scenario. I'm just taking the razor and I'm looking at the shorter pieces and I'm just blending it out. This is a very forgiving haircut. I like everything that forgives. Ain't got time. You want it to look good as it grows out. So let's mess around with the irons for a minute. Turn this heat down because she already fried. I'm just gonna put a little bevel. You know, we're not bumping. Only thing I bump is my Jeep. So I'm just going through, putting a little bevel so you can see how this would look in real life. Y'all see that?
The movement is everything.
Yeah, that's the thing about the haircuts. Like you want to have, is my little flat irons over here? Yeah. You want to have movement. You want your haircut to give life to people, honey. See how that's curling? Look at those soft lines. Very soft, very modern, very classic. I like doing classic stuff because you ain't got to worry about, you know, your client looking outdated, and they're going to always get compliments because most people recognize classic. Yesterday, I curled my hair like the old school Toni Braxton and went out. No people was like, oh my God. And it was a straight up bump and curl. But it's a classic style because my cut is razor. And it's very like similar to what I just did. It's very slide cut. Slide, I don't know how to say that because I want to say cut it, but that ain't no word. It's very textured because I did it with a razor. Because my hairstylist is in Dallas and I can't get to her. I'm just putting some nice bends in the cut. Some of y'all probably was like, I don't know what she doing. This look retarded. Wait to the end so you can see. I just want to showcase different techniques. You see how soft those lines are? God damn, they're beautiful. So, exactly. Other cultures. Yeah. That's how you use, they do a lot of these techniques because it just makes it so soft and so beautiful. That's beautiful. And we're not even like really for real curling. I'm just trying to, I want you to see what's possible. Today is about what's possible. Anything is possible. That's what I say. Think about some of the craziest things you want to do and then just start thinking about how you can get it done. Try it. If it don't work, try it again. Mess yourself up and try again. Y'all see that? It's dope. It's very classic, guys. It's very classic. It's romantic. It's very soft. And that's what slide cutting does. It removes weight. And it's just very soft. Okay? This is dope. Not because I did it, but just because it looks really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm not even using the whole, you know, I'm not super curling her hair. But, I mean, you don't have to do a bump under. We could have flipped this out, which I'll show. I'm taking the iron and I'm just kind of beveling the back. It's not really hot yet. You guys see? See how soft those lines are? And imagine if this was fully curled. It would look so like, oh, she's edgy. Like, it just looks modern. Just for those people that like to go like this all the time.
Right.
Hold on, girl. Because I can't stand here in my face. But this is definitely for those who believe in. That's Bree. Bree believes in it, honey. She needs this haircut. Okay? So now that the flat iron is hot, I'm going to go through, raise her up because I'm 5'7". I don't know why I got her that low. And I'm going to fix her head. Ooh. Ooh, all right, girl. So now I'm just going to go through and bevel the tips of her hair. Very simple, nothing major. I'm just beveling the tips. Turning it under so you can really see the cut. Let's see if I can get it with this iron. I'm such a Babyliss fan. So you may be wondering what flat iron is what. It's a Babyliss. It's a Babyliss flat iron. I like her back kind of long and classic feeling. So haircuts, guys, I'm teaching you. I want you to always learn from a perspective. Like, what is she doing? What can I take from this? How can I make it better? Okay? So I'm just going in with a little bevel. I want to kind of tail in the back. I love tails. So if you specialize in haircuts, you know, and you just do a nice cut and then just bump it out, like, what? You're done. $100 on to the next head. That's amazing. This will be $100, flat iron, holler back. So that means you can't take $50 flat iron. I'm gonna need you to learn how to like not do that, and I'll teach you. I left the ear area a little longer because I want like thicker sideburns and just I like the fullness here. But just know that with every haircut around the face, which is called face framing, that's where you be an artist. Have fun with your craft. Look at what I'm doing and then go, okay, I think I want to try XYZ. That's what it's about. You don't go to a class. I'm not teaching you because I'm end all be all Jesus. Nope, not at all. I want you to take 100 classes. But I just want to show you something that works every day that you can implement tomorrow and see results. And watch your client's body position. I always have my clients tilt like this when I'm curling a certain section because it helps me curl faster when their head is already going the direction that I want their head to go. So if she was sitting up, the hair would just keep falling on her face. And I want that hair to cool down and stay in that direction as I curl the rest. So now I'm coming around to the front, taking a vertical, kind of really is diagonal section, curling off the face towards the back. Using my comb, I'm moving slow so that the heat can actually disperse through the comb and heat the hair up evenly. I'm taking my iron. I don't know why I got this iron way over here. I'm just going beveling backwards. Okay. Now I'm on this side. Last little section of the bang. Super cute, right? So I'm just curling around the shape of her head. So now, thank you. So now, I'm gonna lean her forward. I'm on the other side. I'm gonna curl everything back. I'm just going through so you can, some people need to see the complete finished bevel experience. get that. So I'm taking diagonal sections, and I'm curling away from the face. Use that comb to disperse the heat. It makes a major difference. I learned that from my mentors on the road. Everybody uses the comb. These people get paid like $10,000 a day to teach these same techniques, and they all have, you know, things that are kind of like standard that all the superstar hair cutters do. And they use the comb to disperse the heat. Just makes it very even, very clean. Take my last piece. We're almost done with this look. Taking my time. If you want to know how to make the hair look like glass, even if you're just pressing out some long hair, take that comb, put it through, and move slowly. Slightly bevel. Let the heat do the work. We're going to push her back up. Now that she's gotten her life together, we're going to style her out. Style her out. Okay, girl, I need to get your life. There we go. So, I'm going to take a little bit of this Paul Mitchell glue, just a little bit, because I want the hair to have texture. Look at that. And I'm just touching on the tips because her tips have texture, and I'm just touching it. Look at that, y'all. Beautiful. Very soft. Even for, if you got an older client, you know, she wants you to do her little granny style, girl, you got to, this is the cut her granny style with this technique. So at least your work don't look so granny. Okay? You can leave as much as you want. These are very round, soft, wispy layers. I'm looking at the back. Okay, I want to take a little bit more off there. I'm just going to slide it down. Mannequins are so tricky on the neck because, I mean, it's not a real human. So you can't see. What you guys think? Break that up, unlike lines. Break that up. The previous class is still up. I need help styling out soft styles without losing the cut. The cut is never lost because it's a cut. So I can't lose this cut because it's, I mean, it's just in there. You guys see that artist feature? I like that. Because that's different. Like you want to add a little flair. Make it modern. It's very round. This is for someone who, you can do whatever, because you can take this. I could even go shorter with the technique, but I kept it pretty long because I wanted you to actually see the kind of layers it created. You see how soft that is? Very soft. It's just fun. Okay? So, we're going to talk about everything that we just went over, just kind of cover it and just run back through what just happened. Today, we went over slide cutting. Slide cutting is a technique that I use all the time in the salon. I'm in the salon just like you on a weekly basis, not every day, but you know, I work a couple days a week, and I love slide cutting because it really creates texture. You use slide cutting when you want to remove, y'all see my house cut? You use slide cutting when you want to remove weight, when you want soft, wispy layers, okay? So this is getting away from that blunt, boxy stuff. You see people with their hair like at this length and it be all bumped and just sitting on the side of the head. That ain't hot. We don't want that. We want soft. This is gonna give you soft. Now you can go shorter with this. You can go as short as you want. Here's the deal. Notice that I did not blunt 90 cut this. If I had a blunt 90 cut this instead of just kind of, I was kind of notching, it would have been just a weird, it just would have been old school. So I want you to get away from just, I'm teaching you to break the rule, because look at a lot of you guys' work. It's very organized and it's very clean. And it's good that you have that type of precision, but break it up, girl, break it up. Change your angles, you know? You will notice your clients will be like, oh, I like this. It's just different because of what someone said earlier, the movement. Someone mentioned they're scared to lose the, you can hear my water. They're scared to lose the curl, but it's not going to go anywhere because the cut is there, right? So you're not going to lose the cut. I mean, that's what they say. They don't lose the cut. You're not going to lose it because that's a cut. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay? So when you style out, also just be aware of the sections that you use. So I know my bang is here. I know it was heavier here. I know I'm a curl different. I knew that this is shorter, so I need to get my smaller flat iron and just kind of bevel down. Have an idea of where you want to go with the end result. I knew that I just wanted a soft, wispy, like kind of beveled under look. So, and if you want to expound on what you mean about losing the cut, because I mean, it's not going to get lost, because that's the difference in teaching your clients and yourself to wear their hair cut. This is a look. This is not, you know, some people depend on their style out to be the look, but a style don't last but a couple days. A style don't, my hair was so cute yesterday. I woke up, I don't even know what happened. I don't care what happened because I know my cut is right. So when I cut, I want you to understand too, you want people to worry about their haircut, not their curls. You know, not to say you don't curl hair. I do all kind of funky styles, but you know, people, nobody really likes that. I mean, after a couple days, they're trying to figure it out. So emphasize your cut.
You curl the back first?
Do you curl the back or front first? Very good question. It's your preference. Everybody has something different that they like to do. Typically, I kind of start in this area and curl down and get the back out the way because it's short, it's easy. I can curl the back in literally like 3 minutes. And then I go around to the front because that's more her face and what she sees. You want to take your time and make sure that things are flowing right and all that kind of stuff. So you totally could start in the back just to get it out the way because the back is very just, you know, beveled and typically bumped under. And then the front is where you have your customization when you're styling out. So I'll do a class with this same mannequin and we can do her curly. That'd be fun. So that you can see this. This is very calm, but we also could still be funky and make this real big and curly. So let's look at some comments. Any questions? Guys, use the comment box. This is your time to debrief, talk about what happened. Let's talk about your takeaways. Let's talk about, you know, how you can implement this in the salon this week. Let me turn that so you can see. Check out the cut. Take your time. Just ask as many questions as you can before we get ready to close it out. I see someone has their hand raised. Let's see. Nikisha. So I'm going to invite you, Nikisha, as a speaker. And I think people are hitting this and not really sure that they want to speak. So I'm going to invite you. You're going to have the opportunity to ask a question live. Nikisha, you there? Oh, I think you went away. Okay. I'm checking the chat box. Okay, I'll look it up. Thanks, feel free to contact me. Okay, so you guys that's good, you guys are connecting. So the back of her hair is probably 1/2 inch. Yeah, that's 1/2 inch. The back of her hair is 1/2 inch. And guys, don't ever get caught up. Your length at the back is whatever you want, whatever the client wants. So this is about 1/2 inch at the back. It begins to be like really kind of 2 inches up in here, but it's about 1/2 inch back here. Just whatever if your client gives you free reign, cut the shortest piece that you want. But typically most people like at least 1/2 inch in the back. And then that's what these little irons, these are 1/2 inch. So you kind of use a guideline to know what 1/2 inch is when the iron can still catch that. That's about 1/2 inch of hair. Okay? Trying to get my customers to stay away from curling. Yeah, I mean, I tell my customers that, like, you know, 2 times, 3 times a week isn't bad. You just also, first of all, check their tools because a lot of these tools have, you know, they're just hot and they don't have any They don't have any levels, so they're just freaking hot. And even when they're hot, you can do fine with a hot iron if they know not to take the flat iron and go. A lot of people go like this. They put the flat iron on the hair and then they just go real slow. What's happening? You're sitting 450 degrees, 20 seconds per section. Break it down to them like that. You're heating your hair too much. You have to be fluid. Tell them move through the hair with the flat iron. It's okay. You just don't want to over curl the hair, which is doing it every day. Also, stay on top of explain to them the importance of protein treatments. I stress that in the salon. I love influence protein treatments. It makes the hair so freaking strong. It's ridiculous. The clients can feel the difference and they love it. They get addicted. It's also $80 a pop, which means you're constantly doing high dollar services. That's an amazing treatment and it makes the hair strong. So it's going to combat if they're doing something like curling their hair every day, which they shouldn't be. But sometimes you got the ones who be trying. So you have to be as a professional and recommend the protein treatments to make sure that their hair stays strong. Because short hair, you could curl it a lot and be okay because you're always getting a haircut. But if the hair is longer like this, you do not want this at the ends to be fried. So you could have them do a couple things. You could wrap this up, tell them to wrap one side and then tie it down to where if they wrap this way, even if they took all this and just wrapped it over and combed this part down and then did like a half of a wrap, you know how you guys wrap your hair old school. If they went to sleep like this, tied it down where this is wrapped, and then in the morning time, unwrap it, they're not gonna have to curl it because it's basically like wearing a wrap, okay? If they have longer hair and you do tighter curls, you can teach them how to pin curl the hair and take a pin or a clip and at night pin curl their hair. So they will pin curl all of this and get it off their face so that they can sleep. And then in the morning time, they let it down. Pin curls are very classic. Don't sleep on them. You can do the old school pin curls and keep a bang curl without having to put heat on it, okay? You can take this and like put some flips in it. Really curl some different directions. Have fun with the hair. You can take that and just make it funky.
How much for a treatment, a protein treatment?
$80, $75 to $80. That's a powerful product. So you charge because of the value of the product. The product is going to make the hair strong. It's going to put amino acids. It's going to put all that fun stuff in the hair that makes it strong. So that when they at home tearing it up, you have something that's combating the wrong heat use and just overdoing it. Protein is amazing for the hair. You guys know hair is a protein fiber. So you're putting the life back into the hair. That's taken out from everyday wear, from heat, from just chemicals, all that kind of stuff. Okay? Awesome sauce. You point cut the back. I point cut and slide. I did both, slide cutting and point cut. You can totally slide cut the tips to where it's just really wispy. That's your preference. That's why I teach you the technique so that you can use your mind and then be creative. Don't look at stuff and, just be creative. I slide cut the back as well as point cut the back. I like a little tail there, so I kept that. I wanted it wispy. Okay? What'd she say?
Becky is fly. I said, that's Bree.
That's Bree, girl. This is Becky. This is Becky. That's Bree. Becky ain't had her hair washed in a while. But the same thing with Becky. Like, this is more a shorter version. But you see all that texture in there? That's cute. You're looking like somebody on, just cute. So, you see questions? I mean, me curling. A lot of clients feel like they not getting the full service without me doing some type of curling. Oh, yeah, that's client mentality. Some people old school. So it just depends on your client. You have to talk to them about, I teach my clients to rock their cuts. Some people are not comfortable, so I bump their hair out old school because that's what they want. But even it ain't old school, the curling techniques are modern. So if they want curls, then you still have to give them curls. If she wanted me to go through and curl this, I would start back here, and I would just do, you have to go watch another video while I curl hair, because that'll just take away from this class, but I would start here, and I would just do a tight curl. I would do a tighter curl than what I did, and I would do the whole head just tighter than what than just bumping it out, you know? So that depends on the person, the client, and all that kind of stuff. But my clients, here's the deal. Back to what I was saying this morning. When you are committed and convinced that what you are doing is the way, clients, they start getting quiet. They just listen to you. They don't ask questions because I'm the professional, I'm the expert. It's not because I'm right, they wrong, but I'm assuring them that I'm hip on fashion because they see me every day and I'm cute, right? So they're like, okay, she knows what she's talking about. I teach them why I'm cutting their hair this way. As I slide cut, I tell them I'm gonna use a technique called slide cutting, which is it's gonna remove some weight and just give you a very flowy, silky, sexy haircut. They be like, oh shit, yeah, girl, give me that. After a while, they just sit in your chair, they don't ask you nothing because I educate them as I do things. If they need a protein treatment, okay, girl, this is what protein does for your hair. And if you don't know what protein does for your hair, whatever protein you use, read the back of the bottle and repeat what it says. You're gonna sound like an amazing professional. So worst case scenario, like educate the client on what you're doing, talk to them calmly and let them know, this is what I think, this is what I recommend. You don't go to the doctor and be like, well, you know, blah, blah. You listen to what they say. They be giving the wrong prescriptions and everything, but they're so convinced that that's what you need because they're committed and they believe in it. And so then I just say, okay, I'm gonna go take the medicine, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, have confidence in what you're doing. And if you start doing a lot of haircuts, even if it's on a mannequin, if you do a look on a mannequin and you post it and say, this is this and it's chic and it's this and then compare different celebrities who may have this style, then they're gonna go, oh, she's in, she gets it, right? So then they're not gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions. So it's all about the conversation that you have with your client. My bad, Bree and Becky look like they cousins. But yes, it's just educating them to get used to wearing your look. And a lot of people, my clients wear their looks more because I wear my haircut. I don't do a lot of curls. So then they go, I just want to look like that because, you know, I'm busy or whatever. So you also have to exemplify what you want them to, the type of work that you want to do, you got to do it and then showcase it so that they are believers in what you're doing. So that just comes with time. Some people also are just stuck in their ways and they want curls. Give them a curl. Very simple. You're welcome, Cynthia. Your point cut, how much for treatment? Follow, okay. I just want to make sure I'm answering all the questions. I love the bang side the most and would probably make my opposite side shorter. Yep, I would too, Don. I guess what I mean without having to do hard curls. And like, okay. And make sure you guys are putting your, make sure you're putting your social media handles in the comment box. Follow each other, support each other's work, and watch what each other's doing. Get inspiration. Go watch everybody who's doing, you know, different cuts and looks and get inspiration. And start looking at haircuts and understanding that you can look at a cut and kind of guess where you would do what technique, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Do you guys want to get, I was thinking it would be really fun if we did like some type of certificate or something that you can post that says, I just completed this class. So like the more classes you take, the more you can post that you're completing different classes. Let me know in the comment box if you like that, because clients love to see that you're doing something and taking classes and stuff like that. So if you want to see, if you want to get some type of, oh look, here's hi.
Hey, how are you?
That's hilarious. It just popped up. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Everybody say hi, Nikisha.
Hi, Nikisha.
In the chat box. So did you have any questions?
Yes, I actually did. I was wanting to know, like, what is the average, I guess, amount of time that it would take you to execute a haircut like that?
So I know my time. Even my assistant, she says my times are ridiculous. I give myself 30 minutes.
Okay.
30 minutes to cut, to add a haircut on. And sometimes it's even faster depending on the head because most people don't have that much. The average head size is pretty fast, but I say 30 minutes. You know, you got to be fast. When they come in, here's the deal. There's a couple things you can do, Nikisha, because depending on your client and what they have to get. So sometimes a client may come in and before I shampoo them, their hair may just be looking kind of, like this. And I can go in and kind of, within 5 minutes, just kind of do a shell haircut. So what I do is I have my section, I do a horseshoe, and then I go through and I kind of see, okay, let me do a 90 in a big way. So I don't take the 90 all the way down here. I may start this far out and just do a 90 real quick, like big chunky sections, and then do my horseshoe. And I know my shortest, I know I'm gonna keep it pretty long. So if the hair is out to here, I'm just gonna cut it like right there so that the shell is there, right?
Okay.
But then what happens is when I get ready to mold them and I'm sure they've been shampooed, I keep my horseshoe section, I just mold that forward. And then I mold this down flat. I let them dry. This doesn't have to be all the way dry because I can blow dry this. Or some people, if it's a fuller bang, it takes them forever to dry. I need you to get out of my salon. So I need this to be, I'm a blow dry for the most part. I'm not gonna put so much foam that it's soaking wet because it's heavy. So the foam is really for your shorter pieces. So you wanna foam the sides down, mold this forward, put a little foam here, make sure everything is smooth, but this doesn't have to be all the way dry, right? So then you go through and after she's dry here, this may be a little damp, blow dry that, and then go through and clean up the cut. So go through a section, vertical section that out, boom, boom, boom. You just need to move. That's about being fluid, you know what I mean? Like take your first section, cut it, move to the next one, move to the next one. Don't be in your head too much, thinking too hard, just get it done. And the best part about all these cutting techniques is that it's forgiving. So when you blunt cut, you have to be so precise and you can see the lines and the mistakes. When you slide cut and you point cut, it's fun, it's edgy, it's modern. You don't have to be like super like, oh my God, I have to get every line perfect because it's just fun, it's edgy. So that's the best part. And that's why I like doing those kind of cuts because, it's just modern. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Yes, it did. It did. Thank you so much. You're so informative. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, yay. So okay, so you guys, when you raise your hand, so did you have to press a button? What'd you do?
Yes, I actually did. I pressed the button, and I don't know, for some reason, it just kind of, I guess it had me waiting.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. Oh, yeah, what happened actually was the Google Hangouts came up, and I just clicked on it, and it brought me here.
Very cool. This is so cool. Okay, wait, I want to take a picture of this. Hold on, let's see. I want to take a picture. Here, wave, Nikisha. So cool. Okay. Thank you for asking your question, you guys. I so encourage you to ask anything you want. Like, this is incredible value. I want you to get the best out of this. So don't be afraid to ask any question. There's no stupid question. That was actually a really great question. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions? Let's see. Let me read the chat box. Okay, so Detroit, yes, I'm going to take commodities. That's awesome. Commodities amazing. So on your chat box, you can raise your hand. Let's see. I like to search for the class because my clients see the work and I can start raising prices. Go on, girl. Yes. Okay. So that would be nice. My clients get excited whenever I display classes. And if you're on your phone, guys, make sure, or if you're on your computer, screenshot that you're learning. Like screenshot the look, screenshot that you're doing something and post it on your social media. So on the iPhone, the way you screenshot is the middle button and the side button. And so on a computer, on a Mac, it's like Command-Shift-3. On a PC, I don't know, but you can Google it. We can ask Siri. And hello, my sister. Okay. So, yep, tag us, screenshot and tag us, and just post it so that people can see that you're learning. So you don't have to wait for anything. You just post. Like if you go on a commodities class, make sure you post your picture with commodity. And everything. All people. This is broadcasting on YouTube. Hilarious. Anyway, thank you guys. I think we're good. If there's any more questions, this week in the salon, make sure you use this technique on your haircuts. Slide cut the bang. If it's a shortcut, just slide cut the tips. Use this stuff the minute you learn it so that it becomes a new habit for you, okay? I just want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity again to teach to you. I don't see any more questions. Look up, let's see. Yeah, I think we're good. So I'll look at certificates. That's a great idea I was thinking about. You guys may want something to post. So that's awesome. And then let's see, the Facebook group. Check your emails. I'm gonna send out the thing for the Facebook group. I'm working on it today. So just be looking out for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this look. She is cute. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Take a good look.
Pretty, pretty, pretty.
Thank you for joining. I just love having people join. That is so fun. Have fun with this week, guys, okay? I'll see you in the next class. Yay! Awesome, Tammy. Thank you, guys. I'm signing out. If there's no more questions, if there is, email me or on the replay. It'll be sent out automatically. You'll see the replay link. Log into the group where you can watch the replays, and you can still chat, and I'll still get an email. So you can always chat in the chat box if you find yourself having a question. All right, thank you, guys. I hope you have an amazing week. Remember, get committed. Let me just tell you guys something real quick. People quit or they start looking for greener grass because they're not completely sold on what they're doing. So if you're not completely sold on this haircut, when you tell your client about it, they're going to be like, nah, girl, that's all right. Just do my regular bump and curl. You have to be committed to this stuff. Be committed to the game. Be committed to the hustle. Be committed to the relationship that you build with your customer. Because if you're not sold on it, why should the person give an F? Like, I don't care if I wasn't sold on what I was doing, you wouldn't have signed up, right? If I didn't believe that I can help you, Nikisha, if I didn't believe I can help you, like you wouldn't be worried about me. So I believe that I can help you. I believe in this haircut. I believe in everything that I'm talking about, everything that I do every day. So I see results because you see hairstylists and they're like, I took a class, but it's slow out here. It is not slow, boo. And it's not. It's never not. Like, even if you live somewhere where you can't charge a lot, even if you're charging $20, it's not slow. It's because you're not convinced that this is the way that you can make $1 million, 6 figures, whatever your goal is. If you're not convinced you can do it, it's not gonna happen. So you start this cycle to where, okay, I'm doing everything they said, but I don't really see no results because I ain't committed all the way, but I'm really not being honest with myself about being committed. So then I start looking, okay, let me go over here. Let me go over here. Let me go over there. But you're never going to be satisfied because you are not committed to this. So I challenge you to be committed to being an amazing hairdresser, to be committed to greatness. Everything that you do, if you don't do it with your all, if you're doing hair but you're thinking about the kids and everything, that's not committed. If you're taking this class but you're on Instagram at the same time, that's not committed. If you're doing whatever the hell it is you do every day and you're like focused, I can't be teaching you guys, but I'm also thinking about this boo later on. Like, no, I'm not committed. So you're not going to get all of my energy, right? So I just challenge you to commit to everything, even if it's cooking. If you about to cook a meal later and you want to be the bomb.com, be committed to that meal and take your time with every part so that it can be great, right? So you can eat good. You'll know the difference from a committed cook and somebody who's just trying to throw something together. Same thing with this haircut. If you're not committed to making it look modern and edgy and cute, if you're not committed to making her feel amazing, if you're not with her, she's gonna know. And then she's not gonna believe anything you're talking about. She doesn't believe your prices. She's not gonna believe anything that you're selling her because you don't really believe in it. Everybody should be making at least $5,000 a month on a slow month. Okay, that's part-time. So if you're really in a salon, you should be making bank. That's a whole nother class, but I'm just saying, it starts with being committed. When you're committed, you start thinking differently. You start assessing, okay, if I made that last week, what did I do? How did I get it? How can I up that game? But if I'm half-assed doing what I'm doing, I'm not even trying to figure out what I did to get what I got last time, to make it better, to be greater. So I just challenge you to be committed and to focus. When you're in something, really be in it, all right? So I'm out. Peace, love. See y'all later.